Hello, and welcome to the Daddy of 'em All podcast, where we dive into the people, stories, and traditions that make Cheyenne Frontier Days more than just a rodeo. CFD is a legacy. I'm Tara Vreeland. I was Miss Frontier in 2004. I'm a former dandy, and now I'm part of the CFD marketing team. Today, I am so honored to welcome Mo Brings Plenty. He's a powerful voice in modern Indigenous storytelling. Now, you've seen Mo on screen in Yellowstone, 1883, and lawman Bass Reeves, plus many other appearances on the silver screen. Now, he's not only an actor, he's a cultural advisor, a storyteller, and someone who brings authenticity to the Indigenous experience in modern media. In 2026, we're proud to celebrate the Year of the American Indian. We will unveil the new Morningstar American Indian Village, and Mo joins us to reflect on what it means to honor American Indian identity, not as something of the past, but as a living and evolving culture.
Part of Western history, a legend walking tall. Cheyenne Frontier Days, the daddy of all.
Welcome, Mo. How are you today?
I'm doing wonderful, Tara. Thank you so much for having me on here.
Thank you so much for joining us. And I know you're no stranger to Cheyenne Frontier Days. We've seen you around quite a bit. I really want to start about your journey here and where you come from and how you got to where you are today.
Well, I started. I was born in Pine Ridge, South Dakota, tribally enrolled in Cheyenne River, and I did think I was a bull rider at one time. Fought bulls for a couple years, and then I come to realize that I just don't have the talent, and so had the heart, and I love the sport, and of course, Cheyenne Frontier Days is always it's a very very prestigious rodeo, especially from the area that I come from. And Indian country talks a lot about Cheyenne Frontier Days, and so it's legendary. And so to be a small part of it and to be there and participate in other avenues or other ways versus as an athlete, it's still a great honor.
Yeah, thank you so much. And we know you're going to be around quite a bit during 2026 when we celebrate the Year of the American Indian. And I do want to make this differentiation. What is the appropriate and respectful way? You hear Indian, you hear Native American, but we say the American Indian. Will you please clarify that and set the record straight for us?
Absolutely, I love American Indian. And for myself, coming from a treaty tribe, for us to protect the treaties, we have to utilize the label American Indian and protect that because no treaties are made with Native Americans or the indigenous people. It's made with American Indian people. And so therefore, I prefer American Indian to continue the protection of the treaties.
Okay, thank you. So American Indian, that's what
American Indian is the appropriate name, title.
perfect. We love that. Thank you so much. So now I know you got started acting later in life and you noticed there was not a lot of representation for American Indians. So that's how you kind of stepped into that. And I believe in Omaha, Nebraska. When did you realize your voice and work would shape how people understand American Indian culture?
When I started talking to young people, and when young individuals start coming up to me and were inspired, um, that's when I knew that, okay, got to continue, press on, continue working. Um, I'm not an actor by choice. It was something that I had to work hard at and continue to work hard at. I owe a lot to Taylor Sheridan because before Taylor Sheridan came into my path, I was on the verge of hanging it up because of the fact that a long-haired individual like me would only be typecasted and all the period stuff, and I solely thought, well, then I'll just become a stuntman, and so I wanted to just do stunts. But that to get into that team, that department it's quite hard because they have their main core guys, in which I understand it's like trying to get into a starting five that is winning NBA championships or high school championships, whatever the level is. And so I didn't want to. I knew that it would be difficult, and then the acting door kind of start opening up here and there. But as I said, I was about ready to hang it up, and I talked to my family. I called my agent at the time and said I'm done, and everyone said just finish up the year, And then if it's, hasn't changed, then we'll support you. And I said, okay, that's what my family told me. And so a few weeks later, I got the call to do one episode in the first season of Yellowstone. Wasn't guaranteed that it was
Mhm.
going to be a reoccurring role. And then I had the privilege of meeting Taylor in person, and we hit it right off because he's a cowboy and he's a heck of a horseman as well. And so we connected, and voila, here we are.
Did you have any idea that it would turn into the phenomenon that it is to put the American Indian and the cowboy culture back to the forefront of everybody's mind in mainstream media?
Absolutely not. I mean, you never know. I've been part of some projects where there's always that hope. Um, of course, the writing was done so well on Yellowstone that I had high hopes as well. But you just never know. I mean, society is kind of a different breed of its own, and somehow in some way we managed to reach all the way to New York City, around the world actually.
Yeah, no kidding. It's definitely brought it to the forefront, and I love it. Everyone here in Cheyenne loves it as well. Now, you've served as the cultural advisor for Yellowstone and, all the spinoffs there, as well as Cowboys and Indians magazine. Now, what does that role entail? Because it's not just there, but you're the cultural advisor for many avenues here for the American Indian. What does that look like?
Man, what it looks like, Tara, I'll tell you, is that for me, we've been misrepresented for a very long time. And so to step into that and make sure that our people are getting to be that voice as well, and sharing that platform with them is so vital and important to me. We our existence is based on our blood quantum. We have tribal enrollment numbers. It's no different than if someone wants to drive a car, they have to have a driver's license. It's no different if someone claims to be a US citizen but does not have any proof of identity from the federal government, then that's the same with us. And so I'm trying to make it to where the proper people are getting those opportunities to be the face and the voices as well. I'm not the only one. There's so many tribes in this country, within the United States government
Mhm.
borders that have been misrepresented. And so I had to step up, and it's an uphill battle because and it's about educating
Mhm.
people. And so to me, the what entails the most is that it's all about educating as much as possible.
Education. I love that. So authenticity, diversity, we have cultural sensitivity. And I know you come from Lakota and there is almost 400 nations. So you can't possibly know all of that. So I know you're kind of the go-between sometimes when you're being represented in television or in movies. You go learn the language, whether it comes from the artisans or the historians. You're kind of that go-between to make sure it's represented properly. Can you explain that a little bit and what that looks like as well?
Absolutely. So for me, what I do is if it's a different tribe and I don't know the language, I don't know the traditions of that tribe, because and we're all unique in so many ways, aspects. And so I go to the grassroots people, to the people who work diligently and sacrifice, persevere to maintain tradition, language, the culture that still exists today. And I make sure that they are the ones, for me, in a way of paying respects to that tribe and to their traditions. Those are the people that I seek out. And once I get a hold of them and we make that contact, then I bring them with me and I say, here we go, this is the individual that represents this language, that represents the people, and this is who we're going to utilize in this particular time and moment.
Yeah, absolutely. And I know it's important, as far as the cultural accuracy and the storytelling. Have you noticed a change in how things are represented now that you have the advisors and just the importance of doing it right?
There has been some great change, and again, I owe that to Taylor Sheridan, 101 Studios, and Paramount. They're the trendsetters, or the warriors that will step up, because and to tell the truth and to be honest about a lot of stuff, it's difficult in this day and age, because you don't want to disrupt other people's emotions or anything, but our whole lives. I mean, my whole life, I've walked on eggshells, but it's if we want to glorify God, then we got to be honest about everything in that whole aspect of it. And so, again, it takes great courage to be able to step up and to stand beside truth, and that's where Taylor Sheridan, has had that ability, and I owe a lot to him. And we all do in Indian country. Taylor Sheridan had the
Mhm.
courage to do all of that, and so the changes have occurred. We still have a long ways to go. It's easy to do it with Taylor Sheridan, and I mean, other people are wanting to do the same thing. But again, it's about finding the proper people to who can do those jobs, and know. I'm humble enough to say I don't know that, but I'm going to find you someone that does know that, and we're going to make it
Mhm.
happen in truth and honesty, and we're going to honor those people. We're going to honor that tribe with integrity. And so that's where a lot of people, a lot of different other productions need to understand and know that, okay, this is what we got to do. And also to Cheyenne Frontier Days for what you all do there. I mean, I'm thankful and
Mhm.
I'm honored and humbled all at the same time that you are all taking care and having keeping the integrity together, keeping everything together in that whole aspect. And so I'm thankful to you all as well.
Thank you, and we can't do it without you, and I know you mentioned, I mean, what you said just now kind of resonates across a lot of different cultures, I think, so thank you for saying that. So, now I know there's younger generations that are continuing the traditions, and they look up to you, so how do you see it evolving, and what are you trying to teach to the younger generations?
You know, I even like this morning as a prime example. Um, I could cut my hair and it'd be so simple and easy for me. But to stand true
Mhm.
to who you're created to be and to honor God with integrity is to make those sacrifices. And so I have my hair long because that's the way my people have always done it. I wear my hair in two braids because I understand what that represents. And I braid my hair every morning, knowing and understanding what the braid means. And so I always encourage the young people, stand true to who you are. Because then, yeah, it may be hard and difficult right now. I've had my bullies in my life, and I know
Mhm.
you're dealing with yours, but one day that your identity is gonna be recognized and seen, because I see it now, but I'm just one person. The world's gonna see who you are. And when that happens, then you're gonna know that God never left your side. And so always stay true to God because it forever is more important than a short period of time.
Yeah, that's beautiful. Thank you. And I know you mentioned Cheyenne Frontier Days, and so I do want to switch gears and kind of focus on that. So, Cheyenne Frontier Days has welcomed American Indian participation since 1898. So, what do you think makes this partnership significant back then, all the way up until today into the future?
So it makes it legendary. Just for the fact that
Mhm.
there's a collaboration and a relationship of coexistence in embracing the cultural diversity. There's one thing that's in common between the cowboy and the Indian, and that is the horse, and that is the land,
Mhm.
and that is the higher power. And so those three things that come together are just as strong and beautiful as a braid. And so that's what I love about Cheyenne Frontier Days. The integrity and the truthfulness that Cheyenne Frontier Days has upheld for all these many years and continuing to do so and embracing that. And that's setting the example to the rest of the world that, we do believe in a higher power and we support we believe in the perfection of the higher power. And so that's what I love about it.
Yeah. When was your first time to Frontier Days?
My first time to Frontier Days was many years ago. I was a youngster and I was way before Yellowstone. I had to go see it, check it out, and then I was like, man, one of these days I want to make it here. I want to ride in this arena,
Mhm.
um, which I did get to do, but not on a bucking horse or a bull. I got to ride on a horse this past year, um, and
Mhm.
so it was an honor to be able to do that and accomplish that. That was definitely on my bucket list.
Yeah, I know what it's like sit there in the middle of the arena, and you have like that arena around you, and you have a song for the horse. So what was that like to sing that in the middle of the arena? I'm sure we're going to see it again in the future as well. What does that feel like?
That was powerful for me because, and I thought about the many trials and tribulations that I've been through in my life, but also I thought about all the individuals who were there. Even riding in the parade, you know, um, it was such a great honor because I thought about all the people of the past, cowboys and Indians, cowgirls and Indian women that all went through down those streets and probably followed the same parade line, and it was emotional for me, especially when the horses came out, when the bucking horses came out. It was such a powerful moment for me to know that we are all still here, all of us, because I consider Cheyenne Frontier Days that I consider that arena sacred ground.
You're gonna make me tear up because that's how I feel about it as well. So, as we celebrate 2026, the Year of the American Indian, what does that mean to you as a cultural leader, and what does it mean to the actual culture?
Oh, it means everything, because of the fact that again, the relationship between in the Western heritage, the Western way of life is still alive. It's still strong and it's still beautiful. Because again, both cultures are always been there, have always been there, and here we are still in this day and age, and we're all still together.
Man, and we're building this beautiful new Morningstar American Indian Village. We have our other Indian village, which is just so unique. And I know you've been there many times. If you haven't been there, you're a little late now for those who haven't been there yet because it's going to be gone. We're building our new one. What do you think about this new concept and what we're doing and making it bigger and better? And it's just going to put everything to the forefront about the American Indian and really blend it with Cheyenne Frontier Days.
I think it's so much. It's so much needed, especially for both cultures, and but mainly for society. You know, especially right now, it's we have to come to understand that hey, God placed us all here for a reason, and yeah, we're all unique and different. I remember my grandfather once told me one time he took me over to the creek line where there's a bunch of trees, and he said, "Okay, grandson, pick out the perfect tree." And I'm like, perfect to who? And he said, which one do you think God is, which tree do you think God is to see as being perfect? And so I looked at all these trees and I couldn't pick out one specific tree. And my grandfather told me, he said, the reason why you can't pick out one tree is because they're all perfect in God's eyes. And that's just like us as people. As human beings, we're all perfect. It don't matter how light or how dark our skin is. You know, we are all beautiful in the eyes of the Creator. And so I try to walk with that understanding. And I think what I know what is happening in Cheyenne Frontier Days with the culture, Morningstar, the new village that's being constructed, and right there by the arena, oh, it's beautiful. It's two lungs side by side, breathing life of diversity into society.
I love it. That's beautiful. So what makes it different from, traditional concepts? Are we doing something different? What do you think about that in that regard?
I think that we're maintaining tradition, to be honest with you. Again, diversity is a big thing, and the culture diversity, when we can understand that, then that's when we start bringing humanity back. And so maintaining tradition is so important because again, that's who we are. That's in all of our DNA, every single one of us. And so that memory's still alive and well.
Now, I know, speaking of tradition, Morning Star is a very strong symbol, has strong symbol and meaning there in the American Indian traditions. What does Morning Star mean to you and to the American Indian culture? And why do you think this is a huge representation, the meaning behind it and how we can push it forward and kind of just have people resonate and take it home with them?
It means to me, the morning star means that you're given another day, another opportunity, and it represents perfection. The day is already perfect. All we simply have to do is allow it to remain that way. And so with the new beginning, everything in life and in that moment that is around you is experiencing this new sunrise that's going to be coming that follows the morning star. And so It means
Mm.
perfection.
It's beautiful. So, and I know we're all really excited about it. It's under construction right now. We've seen the designs for it. What excites you the most about what the visitors can expect when they go there? I mean, we have the dancing, the music, the food, the jewelry. Everything's beautiful there. So, what do you hope people will take home with them after they visit our new American Indian village?
Well, we have great representation there. We have for years, and I've had the privilege to visit with them for the past couple years as well. And I've watched them how they explain and share the culture and the songs, the dances, and they explain things so significantly well, and that people walk away, okay, wow, they learned something. And so I'm super excited for that, for the continuation of that group doing that there in this new facility. And so I'm super excited to experience it in person. And so I hope everyone takes the opportunity and takes time to go and witness and see the living history still alive.
I love that. Thank you so much. Now, before we close, Mo, what is your favorite memory of sharing your culture around the world? And do you think 2026 Year of the American Indian is going to be kind of maybe one of those core memories for you?
I'm gonna jump back in history real fast. There was a time and moment when our traditions was banned, and it was outlawed. We couldn't
Mm.
participate or practice dancing, couldn't sing, couldn't even speak our own language. And so now, for me, the most memorable thing is that I get to meet people that still speak the language, that still know those songs, that still know the dances, and you all have them there as well. And so I'm thankful and excited that it's going to be continued and highlighted and embraced. Again, cowboys, cowgirls, and Indians are all alike, all together in one area is super exciting. And I know God smiles down upon that.
Is there anything I didn't touch on that you would like to discuss regarding Cheyenne Frontier Days, the importance of preserving the culture, maybe spreading awareness? We are going to be doing that with the 2026 Year of the American Indian, but what is the message you want people to take home?
I want people to take home that Cheyenne Frontier Days is a great place to go take your family and to learn and to experience and witness. Everything is so beautifully done, and everything from the bucking horses to the bulls to everything is so well respected and taken care of. And so go take the time, take your family there, show your children what living history is all about. You're going to get to see that, and you get to see the Western heritage lifestyle embraced, and they are so everyone there is so welcoming, and so everyone is welcomed as well. And so it don't matter where you're from, where you live, take the time to get there and visit it.
Mo brings plenty. Thank you so much for being here. We truly appreciate your insight and your dedication to authentic representation. We're truly honored to have your voice shaping this historic year at Cheyenne Frontier Days. And to our listeners and our viewers, thank you again, as always, for joining us on the Daddy of 'Em All podcast. We do invite you to experience the all-new Morning Star American Indian Village this July during the 130th Cheyenne Frontier Days. We invite you to walk the red road, take in the stories, and of course, to celebrate a culture that continues to shape our shared future. Thanks to everyone for joining. We'll be back next time with more from the Daddy of 'Em All.
A part of Western history, a legend walking tall. Cheyenne Frontier Days, the daddy